This is the men's room.
Get it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off the Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Say hello to our listeners jumping in New Orleans at Bayou 95.7, also 96.5 WCMF, Rochester's Classic Rock, and our friends at 105.3 The Bear in beautiful Blacksburg, Virginia. Welcome to the program. Who Sucks Less on Tap? The word goes to the world of ad-libbing in movies. As it turns out, some of the most famous lines in movies were ad-libbed. And
they should have an Oscar for it.
Question, men's room blank style. I knew someone who once had blank for a pet. 844-999 Ola. Southwest Airlines is the reason for a question. They basically said one dog, one cat, no crap. That's it.
Right.
Nothing else qualifies. Don't even ask.
Don't bring the peacock.
Yeah.
Don't bring the turkey.
The duck, whatever.
The tarantula.
If it
the
ain't
guinea
a dog,
pig, the monkey. Right.
Like,
Doesn't matter. It's not a dog or a cat. Don't bring it.
And that's fair because I think, like if you could put these pet people in one area, which probably would be a horrible idea now that I think about it.
What do you mean, like waiting for the plane?
Well, I don't think you want maybe two dogs that don't like each other beside each other, or a cat by a dog. Or I was going to say, like if you thought it was a good idea to have the kid zone, which I still think is a good idea.
Kids are different.
Maybe the pet zone, but that would probably end up in a fight or two.
But the dogs wouldn't even have to be next to each other. Once they smell each other, it's on. If they decide that the whole flight, man, the entire...
Yeah,
like, bring back the crying baby.
I've seen a lot of dogs on flights. I've never seen a barky one.
I haven't either.
Don't a lot of people sedate them before they put them on?
I think,
I think also, generally, if you're going to bring that dog on, I think most people, if you
probably used to being around people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a good chance. He's not good around people, so just, be careful with the beverage cart.
The best one was a girl just had a tiny one. He just got out of the bag.
Oh, really?
He came over. I was petting him.
Oh, that's nice.
I was just walking through the plane.
So you had the dog the whole time?
And I tapped her. She was kind of asleep, but she was like, yeah. And I was like, is this your dog? She's like, I'm so sorry.
Nice
little dog.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool. Cruising.
Men's room, a blank question. I knew someone who once had blank for a pet. 844-999 Ola.
We got a few comments. A guy says, growing up in Texas, I knew some jackasses that had a pet rattlesnake. There's no more to the story than that. I'm just surprised no one died.
What do you do with a pet rattlesnake?
Can't hold them.
You tell people I have a pet rattlesnake and nothing else.
You feed them.
Got more respect for the pet rock.
I agree. At least it doesn't bite. My barber has a 6-foot monitor lizard.
That's a big-ass lizard.
Yes, it's 6 feet. One of my roommates, he bottle raised 4 baby opossums in her dorm room for several weeks before she decided to rescue that would take them. Hats off to her. Listen, my general rule, if the animal's not cute, I just care a little less.
Is it the ugly pink tail that throws you off?
Look, even when a possum looks its best, it might be the ugliest mammal on earth, right?
Also,
what does it compete with as a mammal?
Yeah.
Just sheer ugly, man. What does it compete with?
As far as ugliness?
Yeah.
I mean,
you can say like a warthog, but you don't really do.
A rat is better looking than an opossum.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's better looking. So anyway.
And not only that.
But they're uglier when they're babies. So I'm saying hats off because this woman's the ugliest thing on earth that is a mammal, particularly when it's a baby. She still took the time to bottle raise. I would not have done that.
The one that I was closest to was one that used to live in our backyard when I was growing up. That I somehow either left or passed on. I don't know what the hell happened to that thing. But it was a female, and it had a litter, okay? Mm-hmm. And you know how, like, you do, like, when your dog rolls over, you do the dog braille with all the nipples, and there's like 5 or 6
nipples. I don't do it. I cannot do it.
You pet the nipple zone because the dog wants the nipple pet. Opossums have more nipples.
They have 13.
Than you've ever seen.
13.
They have
it's
13.
A sea of
like
nipples.
13.
It's like all you see is nips.
Right.
It's like
they got 13
4
of them.
legs and 90 nipples.
Right.
And a big pink tail. That's what it looks like. I'm dead serious.
And it's ugly
nothing
everywhere.
but nipples.
There's got to be something uglier than it.
Puffy nipples,
mammals.
pointy nipples.
I mean, you can say like a warthog, right? And you're like, yeah, all right, but it's a warthog. Say the possum, but a warthog, you still might put a warthog on a sports emblem somewhere, right? But you're not going to use a possum. Exactly. You're not going to use a possum. You might do it in minor league baseball.
Would be a boar.
But you would use that.
Because they're grilled.
He's right.
Boar's head.
Boar's head.
Boar's head.
Yeah,
it's still, but you can still use it as a sales pitch. You're right. The boar's an ugly animal, but if you're trying to sell me meat, I'm in. You can't
eat boar.
It's not tough. That. People do eat boar. Nobody eats possum. You can't use
Yes, they do. Oh, they eat possum. Oh, yes, they do.
They don't use it as a sales pitch.
They have possum festivals.
I'm sure they do.
What's the little one that turns into a rock in Texas?
What?
Armadillo?
Oh, an armadillo.
That's a pretty ugly animal.
It's ugly, but there's still something cool about it.
Yeah.
You're an armor-plated mammal. You're not very good in traffic, but you're an armor-plated mammal. The possum, like, dude, you have 13 nipples and you're uglier than hell. I mean, really, and that's all I know about you. That's all
It just seems like a mean thing you would say at a strip club. You got 13 nipples and you ugly as hell. Take this dollar and leave.
Here we go. Wausau, Florida.
I want to go to a strip club just to say that.
Unfortunately, we just missed this. The 49th Annual Possum Festival that was in historic Wausau on August the 4th. Little King and Queen pageant, Possum King and Queen contest. There's pancakes. There's entertainment all day. A possum parade, hog calling, rooster crowing, and cow lowing contest. Horseshoe pitching, crosscut sawing, gospel, bluegrass, old-fashioned greasy poles, and sack racing.
I'm guessing this is in Detroit.
Down. This is in Florida.
It's not Florida. It's either Brooklyn or Detroit. No, South Chicago.
That's like that doesn't count as a real event when it happens in Florida.
Yeah. Brought to you by 92.5, the WPAP. I don't know what the hell.
WPAP?
WPAP. That's a terrible set of call
You're going to go
letters.
with PAP?
God damn.
Oh,
man.
my God,
Come on
man.
down for a free screening every Saturday.
Nobody brought that up.
92.5, the PAP.
The PAP. We're on a smear campaign. Someone is arguing
Christ.
the PAP.
The PAP.
People are saying moles are uglier than possums.
Oh, right.
That's strong.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
strong.
yeah, but
You
they're
know,
tiny. Yeah,
I'm
they're
gonna
tiny.
yeah, no, but they might.
Nobody
be right.
cares. I knew someone who once had to blank for a pet 844-999-OLA.
The PAP. Hello, Jameson. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bichitas.
Hola.
So, when I was in middle school, there was a place down the road from the school, and me and my buddies were cutting through there. It was like a big apartment complex thing, duplexes, and they had a courtyard. And we were cutting through there trying to find a shortcut over to my other buddy's place. And there was this big-ass dog kennel thing. And so we went up to it, and they had a cougar in there, a full-grown, full-size cougar in there. It was probably like 16 feet by 8 feet wide or something.
What, the cage or the cougar?
Cage.
Okay, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ, it sounds like a horror movie.
Holy crap. I'm guessing you did not know this until you looked. I mean, did you have an OS moment? Did it scare the hell out of you?
Oh, yeah. It looked at us, man. It totally looked at us like, yeah, you're edible. You might be a little bit too much of a meal.
Did it do the growl or anything?
No, it would pace back and forth and twitch its tail and stare at us with this just awful look in its eye, man.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's the look of hunger. That's
It
when
was
a crab
sketchy as hell.
sees. See, that's when a crab
like,
sees right before we drop it in boiling water.
I would be curious. Okay, the animal does this thing, right? Pacing, looking at you.
You'd be curious
doing
and
the
alone.
thing. Then you throw him like one piece of pepperoni. Next thing you know, that thing's sitting front and center, tails wagging, smiling. Like, hey,
No, we
got
never messed with it or anything, but I took a bunch of people there. I started telling everybody at school, there's this place down the road where they got a cougar in their backyard. So after school, I'd be taking groups of kids down there to show them this cougar.
You're like a tour guide.
Yeah, dude. It didn't take long, and they had a sign up that said, stay the hell away from our cougar or something like that.
Stay the hell
And,
away from our...
You don't buy that one at Home Depot.
Because it doesn't make any kid curious.
Right.
Yeah, dude. We were only like 13, so cougar was pretty cool to go see.
How many
But
times?
then eventually, it was gone.
All right, now, how many times did you actually lay eyes on this thing?
I probably went down there like 5 or 6 times.
And did
showed
it give you the same hunger look every time you showed up? Like when I looked at these other kids?
Every time, dude, it was sketchy. Like,
Does your
chain link fence,
Does your cat Rainbow like these frisky party mix crunch?
I'd like to say it's not my cat, it's my daughter's cat. One, I would not name my cat Rainbow, particularly when it's a black effing cat. But whatever. I digress.
Have you tried these yet?
Party mix?
I'm telling you,
party mix.
You would, a lion would fall
What
in
is
love.
it? What is it?
I don't know what the hell
What
it is.
does
man.
it say
My
is in there?
cat
I've never
loses
even
his
heard of this.
goddamn mind over these things. Chicken, liver, and turkey flavors. Who knows?
Oh, is
Swear
it
to
a
God,
treat?
I think you could tame a wild cat with these party mix crunch
All right, I'll tell you
treats
what.
from Friskies.
I will buy what is it called? Friskies Party
I'm
Mix.
telling you.
I will buy Friskies Party Mix. I will see what Rainbow Janet Hill, that is the official name of the cat.
Rainbow Janet Hill.
Swear to
I thought it was just Rainbow Janet.
No, Rainbow Janet Hill.
Oh,
She
that's
does have a
full name.
last name, for
I see.
God's sakes, Miles. Janet is the cat's middle
Where
name.
did Janet come from?
And my daughter still gets upset when I laugh.
Did she know a Janet?
I don't know.
I mean, like, there's no 4-year-old Janet running around.
I don't know. That's the name.
Janet.
That's the name of the cat.
Huh.
Hello, Scott. Welcome to the men's room.
So messed up.
How's it going, fellas?
Hola.
Yeah, I shared a room with friends in Vermont. I was passing through and was a semi-pro snowboarder, and I shared a room with a hermit crab named Willie Nelson.
How big was the hermit crab?
Just teeny. It's like a snail with legs.
Yeah, no, so it wasn't like a big one, but it was always in that room, no matter who stayed there?
Yeah, well, actually, he had a kind of a not so comfortable fiance and didn't like the sound of it scratching, and it would get out of its tank, and you could hear it at night. And so they put it up in the upstairs bedroom, and I heard it at night. We became friends. I was there for like maybe a month, and it was a free-range hermit crab, and it just get out of its tank and cruise around on the floor. You can hear it scurrying.
That's weird. Huh. I mean, I know I had a hermit crab, I'm sure, growing up once or twice.
Did you?
Yeah.
We always got a hermit crab coming back from the beach, but it seemed like they didn't last that long.
No, and then you'd smell them, and you'd be like, all right, where the hell did that thing go?
I had to watch one once. My buddy Mark Novak, I think I was in like third grade. He had gone to town for like 3 days. The thing died on my watch. My father replaced it. He's like, he's not going to know me. Mm-hmm. He's like, honest to God. I always felt bad, but I'm like, I'm not going to tell him.
There was,
but he didn't do anything. Like, we had him for 3 days, and as a kid, I'm excited. And just like, he doesn't do anything.
I knew someone who once had blank for a pet. 844-999-OLA. More calls coming up. The word is going to go to the world of ad-libbing as some of the best lines in movie history. Believe it or not, we're ad-libs. So the word is coming up right before we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. And more of your calls coming up. 844-999-OLA. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
We're going to Belleville, Illinois. It's the kind of rescue you don't hear about every day, as this one involves a man and his pet parrot. The Belleville Fire Department said crews did a water mud rescue Sunday afternoon in a dredged lake at the area's Bicentennial Park, as they had to assist a man who found himself stuck up to his waist in mud. The fire department said the man went into the area to rescue his parrot after it accidentally flew in that area. Although the fire crews were able to save the man and his pet with a special rescue technique, they said the incident was in fact dangerous and unusual. They say the parrot and the man is doing fine. Our Men's Room blank question: I knew someone who once had blank for a pet. 844-999-OLA.
A couple of comments real quick. It says, I've had tons of animals as pets. Alligators, possums, skunks, anacondas, ducks, boas, pythons, crows. I'm sure there's a bunch more, but I think I'm forgetting. In high school, I had a pet tortoise living in my locker. I had a pet crawfish. I had a pet crawfish named Tiger. My cat hated him. And then this one isn't a pet, but Miles, as far as maybe throw a piece of pepperoni to a cougar in the cage. Mm-hmm. Says, I went to the Audubon Zoo in New Orleans with my girlfriend, my brother, and his boyfriend. Now, my brother was teasing the bobcat with a stuffed giraffe, and the thing busted through the cage and tore the giraffe out of his hands, ripped it to shreds. We took off, came back around later, and the bobcat was put away, and there was only a little bit of stuffing remaining. The crazy part is the cougar was in an identical cage. Good times. Hello, Stefan. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, about 20 years ago, I ended up rescuing a 5-year-old wolf from a friend of mine who lived up in the San Jose Hills. They had him in a small cage, and I fell in love with him. A night I was at a party, and everybody was frying on acid, including me. And I went down and hung out with him, and just he was the neatest, sweetest creature on earth. And a couple months later...
Wait a minute, hold on. Are you trying to tell me that you okay, all right, so 5-year-old wolf is a full-sized wolf?
Yeah.
Okay, that's an adult-sized
By the way, how big is that? If you're an average 6-foot-tall guy and that thing's standing up, its head is level with what part of your body? Is it up to your waist?
About my neck.
Okay, and you go, hey, Wolf, how are you? I'm tripping on acid. I'm going to sit down here and hang out. And he just kind of comes over and is like, what's happening? I mean, how did this go down, in your mind? You know what I mean? What were you seeing?
He was extremely lonely.
Okay. Well, yeah.
These people kind of neglected him because the wolf got thrust upon them, and they didn't know what to do with him, but they didn't want to kill him.
Well, they are pack animals.
Yes. So, and they, at one point he challenged the woman that lived there, and she got afraid of him. And so my other buddy who took me to the party said, if they don't find a home for him soon, they're going to put him down. And I'm like, oh, no. And so I was just moving into a big house with my girlfriend and a roommate, and I convinced them that, you know, I have a friend that needs a place to live, and if he can't find a place to live, he's going to die. So I kind of deceived him, and then I said, yeah, my friend is a wolf. And they were like, okay. And then they were like, oh, no. And I go, look, man, I've already committed to it. He's going to come. We got a huge backyard. I will build him a pen on the side. And, you know, come on, let me save this guy.
So you can't bring you can't bring the wolf in the house. He's not anywhere near that level of domestication, I guess.
Well, no, he is. And he became so. And they fell in love with him after a while, and they're like, okay, good idea. But we lived in the city, and it's hard to get, you know, an apartment or anything when you have a full-size wolf. So
I'll be.
Yeah,
you don't say.
The wolf, huh?
Yeah. So, anyways,
it's hard enough with two dogs.
Does he have his shots?
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was fully inoculated and everything. But okay, my favorite story about this is I was living downtown San Jose on 11th Street, and you know, it was after a bad breakup, and I'm living with a buddy of mine, and he got out and he ran down the street. And I'm like, oh my God! And I'm running, I'm going, Peter, and his name was Peter the Wolf.
Peter, oh my God! You have
Peter
this big ass, badass animal, and you went with Peter. I mean, you just
I didn't name him; he was already named.
Hey, Pete. All right.
But anyways, so I go running out in the street, you know, yelling his name, Peter, where are you? And there's this lady out in her driveway swinging a broom and screaming, and I'm like, oh my God. What did he do? And so I run down there and I go, what's going on? She's like, oh, my neighbor over here, there's a big dog in there, like, you know, attacking their chicken. And I went running over there and I went, Peter! And he comes running over, jumps over a 5-foot fence and comes up to me, and he's got blood and bile all over his mouth. So I'm freaking out because if they had called animal control or the police, he would have been put down immediately.
All right, well, that begs the question.
Yeah, because
you know what? He was hungry. He was hungry.
Right.
Like a wolf.
Hungry like a wolf.
It was all instinct. Anyway, I get him back to my place, and then I run down there to try and, placate the lady that was there. And I'm standing in the backyard looking at the chicken. It's still alive. And I'm looking at the chicken going, oh, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I mean, he doesn't usually do this, but he is, you know, a big dog. They thought he was just a dog. And as I'm talking to her, the chicken moves about 5 or 6 inches, and the leaves behind him moved about 12 feet behind him. And I went, oh, my God, he disemboweled him. I about threw up.
He doesn't usually just,
How long did you have the wolf for?
8 years.
Okay, and just passed on natural wolf causes?
Well, he got heartworm, and I had to put him down because there was nothing I could do to save him. And it was the most heartbreaking thing because he was really sweet. Except don't let him near kids because
man! He might eat one of them.
What? No, he bit a friend of mine's kid because we kept telling her, don't go near him without me there. And she went behind the tents at an event that I was at, and, you know, she got bit, not viciously or anything, but
just a little love wolf bite.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was more being the pack animal, and he's like, I'm higher in the pecking order than you. So, you know, it was like, oh, God, I don't want to get sued.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you're not made out of wolf, that bite hurts a little more. Like, I know they do that to each other, but they're made of wolf. So
I'm shocked he only bit one kid.
Right.
What did you feed the wolf?
Well, I mean, at first I used to do the whole regiment. They told me boiled chicken and then mixed in with some, some meal and stuff like that. But then I just went to a high-protein diet, and, he was good with it.
How much do you think he weighed?
He was about, 90 pounds.
Big dog. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a big dog. It's a wolf.
Yeah, they don't like carbs. High protein diet.
I don't know if you knew this, but Peter Wolf was the lead singer for the Jay Giles Band. That's what he was doing there when he named him Peter Wolf.
I thought Peter Wolf was a famous wolf from a book.
Yeah, maybe that too. Oh, there's a lot of famous Peter Wolves out there.
Tons.
I knew someone who once had blank for a pet. 844-999-OLA.
Jesus Christ. Sorry, comment came in. I got 11 fainting goats, named one Billy after me, because we both have beards and I have narcolepsy. The others are named after Doctor Who characters. Hello, Guinevere. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
That's what goat you named Billy.
I know. I'm just reading the comments that come in, man. Guinevere, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, I had this crazy aunt, and of course everybody has a crazy aunt, right? So this aunt would collect weird animals. She had raccoons. She had an albino raccoon.
Did she buy it or did she find it?
Raccoons.
She would buy them.
Okay.
She had some shady connections. She used to live in Chicago, and she would have she had shady connections.
It's just all the entire exotic pet thing is shady connections. When you go and buy these when you go buy tropical fish, you know what I mean, at a pet store, where do you think they come from? I mean, there's somebody like diving with a snorkel and goddamn St. Tropes coming up with a bag of your fish. I mean, like that ain't exactly like, well, it might be legal.
But who has the line on an albino raccoon? Like, you might know a guy for a lot of things. But
also she modeled in her younger years, and she would model with lions and tigers.
Okay.
Again, with the shady connections.
And what was she modeling for? Was this a private collection? Was it an ad?
Just her profile. I mean, her portfolio. She thought she was, this high-end, model and everything. And she would take all these pictures with all these exotic animals, and a white tiger, a regular Siberian tiger.
Those are huge.
So you've seen all these pictures?
Yes. And she would have them she would have them on a chain and stuff. And
was she
weird?
Was she semi-clothed?
Yes. She would have like a leopard print.
This is erotic. This is erotic stuff that she's modeling. When you say like she's doing stuff that's getting guys off who are into this stuff.
Yeah, that's modeling.
I'm sure she's had quite a few. Let's just say boyfriends who she's never worked a day in her life.
I see what she's doing.
She would also kind of try to give me weird animals.
Like, what did she offer you?
Well, my mother would always say no. This is back when I was a kid. But she gave me crabs one time. We had 3 crabs in a fish bowl.
Your aunt gave me crabs, too.
And a lot of other guys.
And these 3 crabs ended up crawling out of the fishbowl and dying. One died behind the couch and then behind the stereo. We never did find the third one.
You never found it?
A crab's not an exotic pet. You can get them anywhere.
No, but they come exotic when it's a pet.
It might have got out the house, but
that's all it
takes. The smell and found the other 2.
Yeah, you can take anything.
She's had a ferret. She's had a cockatiel. She's had dogs, of course, horses, goats. She just collects weird things.
Is she still alive? Is she still around?
I think so. I haven't had really contact with her for the past 12 years, I guess. She's really kind of unstable mentally.
You don't say. You don't say.
The woman who the woman who really did ride the tiger.
I am shocked.
She was like the cool aunt when I was a kid.
Yeah,
but
she's half naked.
As I got older, I kind of understood that she was off her rocker.
That's how it works.
Yeah, children find crazy people interesting.
Right.
They do.
If the really cool uncle or aunt, when they get older and realize why they seem so cool, because they're like your imaginary friend.
That's why she had so many boyfriends, because after a while they're like, the sex is great, but she's crazy.
Right. Gots to go.
That's all it is. I knew someone who once had blank for a pet. 844-999-OLA.
That's a hell of a way to earn a living, though.
Exotic throwing out that booty
and exotic pets.
Hey, it worked. I'm not above it. It's not good enough for it. Hello, Bacon. Welcome to the men's room.
Привет, bitches.
Hola.
How you guys doing today?
Wonderful.
That treating you all right?
Yeah, man.
Lucky you. So, this is not something I ever expected, but I keep running into giant snake people.
I passed one the other day, as a matter of fact. There was a guy walking down the street. Well, actually, I ran by him, and I realized when I ran by him, it was a yellow and white boa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, wow.
I'm going to keep running.
That's a snake, yeah. Just kept running.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, my instructor, my martial arts instructor actually has one of those. He calls it Princess.
Of course he does. Is there any way to carry
I remember him, trying to find it. I think it escaped, went up into his attic at one point.
Fun.
Lost it for a couple of days.
Is there any way to carry a snake other than around your neck?
Most people.
Does anyone carry their snake? I'm just saying, if you see someone with a snake, guaranteed it's around their neck.
Yeah, when I saw a snake guy at that parade, around the neck.
Yeah. I mean, I see the convenience of it. I'm just wondering, does anyone carry it different?
Well, at least they know how they're going to die.
Seems like they should carry it on the arm.
That's a lot of weight, man.
I knew somebody once had blank for a pet. 844-999-OLA.
How does this snake never bite people?
It does.
They do. It doesn't never bite
well,
people.
It depends. You know, if the snake gets out and it's gone for more than a week and you can't find the damn thing, you got to feed a snake every week.
No.
So
but I'm talking about snake guy like he's saying. Like when we were at the parade, like there's a guy walking around with a snake on his shoulders. Like, I don't know. Does he just know the snake won't bite anybody?
You feel like every once in a while you still have to pull your dog away. It might not bite anyone, but if you walk through a parade with your dog at least three times during the route, right? Even though it's a good dog, you're going to have to yank it back in the line. Right? But it's a snake.
My experience is this from what I remember from the snake living years that I had. And it's kind of like
the snake living years.
It's kind of like it's kind of like, like when you can get somebody pregnant, all right? There is a time.
I'm not tracking.
There's a time when there's a window where like a woman is really fertile. You know,
sure.
She's ovulating. And there's a chance, man, if you're in that window, it's not
I can smell the fertility on you.
So a snake is the same way. Like when you feed
April.
When you feed
You're
the snake,
ovulating. I'm sensitive to it with my nasal passage.
A snake will only.
You can't fool me, woman. I can smell the ovulation.
You're ovulating like a snake.
Yep.
I'm in the zone.
Oh, Christ.
But please continue.
I'm about to rattle.
So you can when you feed the snake, you can't really mess with the snake for like a day. All right.
After you fed it.
Yeah. But once the snake is kind of settled in, then you have like 2 or 3 days of fun time, snake time. But the snake needs to be fed.
Fun time, snake time.
The snake needs to be fed about once a week.
Sure.
So as you get closer to those feeding days again, so like let's say day 5, day 6, day 7.
Leave it alone again.
Stay away.
Right.
So, like, there's a very small window of time. So, from what I remember, that you should be, if you're not used to handling a snake, when to handle the snake. That's at least what I remember from the guy who I live with. I mean, like, he was like, that's his snake.
Take that as gospel.
That was his snake's rules. You know
so,
what I mean? Like,
the guy,
you sleep with the ovulating woman and then she gets mean again?
Yes. In like 2-3 days, man, she's pissed.
I can smell the ovulation.
But you can't say anything. Because if you do, then you get in trouble. But you know it's dangerous.
Right. But
you're going to get bit.
Right.
You got to feed her. I knew someone who once had blank for a pet. 844-999-OLA.
It's your choice, my friend. A snake bite or a baby?
Or this.
Pick your path wisely.
Right. Oh, I think I'll go baby.
Hello, Cole. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
How you guys doing?
Doing well, sir. How are you, man?
Good. Just got off work.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right. So, about a year ago, I had a coworker who was a pretty strange guy, and he had a hyena.
You had a pet what?
Hyena.
A pet hyena.
We're Africa, right? That's all
Yes.
I know. Nowhere else.
Yeah, the African dog.
I know, but it's not in Australia. It's nowhere else.
No, like
it's
Africa.
It's only
that's it.
African. Okay, all right. How did he acquire a hyena?
That's the next question.
Honestly, I don't know. I never really got to know him enough to ask.
You didn't try to get real friendly with the guy that owns a hyena?
No, I didn't think it was a good idea. I kind of strayed away from him.
They can take down just about anything. You see them attacking lions. I mean, if you get 4 or 5 of those bad boys, they're.
What did this guy do for? Like, what was he like other than the guy who owns a hyena? I'm trying to get an idea of what a hyena owner is like.
I mean, he was actually a pretty friendly guy. He seemed a little off in the head, but he was pretty friendly.
Do you walk the hyena? Like, you know what I mean? Do you hire a hyena walker?
If that's
like
not a euphemism, I don't know.
Walk the hyena.
I'll be right back, kids. Daddy's going to go walk the hyena.
Woo, God.
Yeah.
I mean,
He ended up not showing to work for about a week, and we came back. Actually, it was probably like 2 weeks. He had gotten rid of the hyena. I tried to attack him in his sleep.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because it's a hyena. That's why, because they're nocturnal, and that's what hyenas do.
And it's a scavenger.
Exactly.
And you're
Like,
asleep.
Oh, my goodness. Giraffe ate the leaves. We hide a tree.
Yeah, it tore a pretty good chunk off of his leg.
Yeah, I bet it did. You know why? Because it's a hyena. That's why.
Oh,
what could have
man.
happened? Well, I brought a hyena into my house.
It acted very hyena-y.
Oh my God!
So you brought,
Because that's what they do. You see them attack when they're attacking. There's like one guy's got a leg,
Yeah.
one guy's got the other
And they're
leg,
ravenous,
the other one's
man.
jumped up on the back of the neck. You know what I mean? Like there's 6 of them that try to take down like whatever the hell they can.
Yeah, cheetahs a lot of times can't eat because the hyenas run them off the kill.
Well, yeah, because they'll go running up the laughing hyenas. They're not all laughing hyenas, but it's the weirdest thing because they'll show a man, and like I said, it is ravenous, and they shred things apart, and they're covered in blood, and then they're like,
How can you not?
Dude, they'll climb inside a kill and eat it from the inside.
I saw one climb. It was like a rhino's butthole, right? Seriously, it climbed through it and started eating it from the inside.
Oh man, that's
And you have that as a
I think
pet?
that's called walking the hyena. That's what they call that maneuver.
Just figured it out.
Yeah, that's when you come out that way. I knew someone who once had blank. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitch, hola. You have entered the men's room.
Dexter, the emotional support peacock who captured the public's attention when he was denied entry on a United flight earlier this year, died unexpectedly in his, quote, favorite human's arms.
You don't have to say Dexter the Peacock. It's like saying Oprah.
And
Everyone
according,
knows, of course, it must be the support animal peacock.
The peacock's owner, New York City-based artist Ventico, revealed on his Instagram account, specifically created for Dexter, that the peafowl died around 1 o'clock on July 22nd. The story continues. His passing was sudden and unexpected. Attempts were made to save him, but his doctor confirmed that nothing could have been done to alter his fate. The artist then captioned a photo that appears to show a shrine to Dexter. Dexter defied stereotypes and brought joy and magic to all that encountered him.
What's the stereotype that you have about a peacock? Real quick. What's the stereotype that anyone has about a peacock, Ted?
You know what? They're D's. They're not nice to people.
Must see TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
They eat French fries in McDonald's parking lots in the South.
Do they
Very
really?
loud.
Well, no, that's a stereotype. This Dexter defied the stereotypes. Let's face it.
He defied
Let's
the
be honest.
stereotypes.
He didn't get up early.
He brought joy and magic to all who encountered him.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. It's time for this country to have a discussion about stereotypes, and I think we start with Dexter the Peacock.
He's got no hands. What kind of magic was he doing?
It was an honor to know him and a privilege to share this life journey with him. Dexter made headlines in January when United Airlines employees barred the bird from boarding a flight at Newark Liberty International Airport. Ventico claims she paid for a second ticket for the peacock, but the airline refused to budge. She said she spent 6 hours trying to get on her flight to Los Angeles. Photos of the bizarre scene at the New Jersey airport soon made the rounds on social media, making Dexter one of the most talked about passengers of the year.
You don't say.
A United spokesperson told Fox News at the time that the peacock did not meet guidelines for a number of reasons, including its weight and size.
And it's a peacock.
And they added that they explained this to the traveler not once but 3 times, as the airline tightened its policy on emotional support animals nearly 2 months after the incident. Ventico said the peacock remained the same loving pet despite his rise in popularity. Didn't change him.
Here's what I'm saying.
The ego from this story didn't go to his head.
And I think that's one of the stereotypes we've all had about peacocks.
Right.
So they make a little bit of money, they buy a network, and they call it must-see TV.
That NBC one, I mean, he was a total D to everybody.
Mm-hmm. He was cool before that, though.
He never let fame, adoration, or his number of followers on social media inflate his ego. That's a quote.
I bet you he never checked.
And he loved working the camera with grace and humility. He is survived by his sisters, Jaja, and, oh God, something else. Dexter, quote, "You will forever be loved. You will be missed and remembered with fondness and love."
Did let success go to his head, Miles.
By the way, Ventico and Dexter met in 2014 when the artist saw a Craigslist ad for a peacock.
Oh, well, there. Yeah.
She purchased the bird. Yeah.
That's not a support animal if you bought it
peacock on Craigslist.
Yeah, I think goddamn.
You probably had someone come with you to the parking lot on that transaction. Am I not mistaken?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I knew someone who once had blank for a pet. 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Lisa. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, guys.
Hola.
How are you?
We're great. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm not a sir, but
I know. So what pet did you know that someone had?
I actually in the early 1980s used to have 4 red belly piranha.
Okay.
How long do they live?
Well, mine didn't because the dominant one ate the other 3.
Okay. That well, you can't do anything
It's
about
amazing.
that.
It's amazing how they prowl the tank, though, when they are together as a school. Like, they turn at the same times. They kind of do their own little thing in there.
Yeah, they do school, and, I mean, you know, it's not the same as what they show in the movies where you throw a piece of meat in a thing of piranhas and they automatically go after it. They're actually pretty paranoid.
Yeah.
Would your father put his penis in that
But
water?
they have teeth, and the teeth are sharp, and they hurt when they bite. What is the...
Wait, how long did it take the dominant one to finish eating all 3? Like, how long did you have them before that happened?
Well, we had them for 3-4 years.
Okay.
And then she or he finally started eating the other 3. Woke up, that's just the taste of it. We woke up, the next morning for the next 3 days and, found parts of them.
Well, that's what they say. A piranha a day keeps the doctor away.
That's the sneaky Lifetime movie way of doing it. You live with a person, like the slow poisoning method with the antifreeze and the Mountain Dew.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.